Whoops, maybe not. Let's do that, that's better. Cool, how are we doing? Lovely. It's been 6 months at least since I was here at Minnis Bay in Kent, my favourite, I reckon, location on the Kent coastline. And this evening it's all about reconnecting, just having a bit of a wander around and a think and a look and a listen, and I couldn't have timed a better day really, or a better evening, because tonight the tide's on its way in. Sunset and high tide coincide with each other today, and I'm just wandering around the beach really, just looking, having a think about what appeals, what doesn't. So it's almost like visiting the location for the first time, because normally the tide is either on its way out or is out and just starting to turn, but tonight it's very definitely on its way in. So yeah, I'm just having a bit of a wander around. Sun's going down. I'm trying very hard to resist the pressure of the sun going down and the need to create an image. I don't want to disturb or upset that thinking process. So yes, I'm just going to have a little bit more of a wander along the shoreline and a bit of a think. Right, so I'm continuing to wander, but I think my struggle is trying to find some sort of item of interest in the foreground. Because the tide is so high, all the items here that I would normally use as foreground interest, they're not here. So this really is looking at the location in a fresh sense, with a fresh pair of eyes. I'll be completely honest with you, I am struggling a little bit. I think a lot of it is because I am conscious that the colour in the sky is fading quite fast. In fact, I think there's a bank of cloud on the horizon that won't be helping my my search. But I've just come up against one of the sea defences. There is a post out in the water. Just bear with me a sec while I go up over the steps. Ooh. That's going to be a problem. Let me just show you what my problem is. There's my sea defence and the post. There's the setting sun. Colours fading quite quickly now, but the problem I've got is that. How on earth am I going to overcome all of that? I know what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to climb up the other side of the steps. Where are we? Over there, and then get up on there, I think. And I reckon this is probably my best and last hope. I'll turn that around so you can see me. My best and last hope at getting some colour. So let me go and set up and So let me talk you through what I've got here. Line the camera up, I've got the sea defence going straight the way through the middle of the frame, getting reasonably lucky with the colour in the sky. It is, although it's mainly over there because that's where the sun sets, I'm starting to get a bit of bleed across in front of me. I actually need to check what time the sun does set. No, it has set. So it's now gone down below the horizon about 5 minutes ago, and I have got just a smidge of colour in the sky right in front of me. It's kind of the, I don't know, trying to make the best of a bad job, but because I was struggling to find any foreground interest, had to use this sea defence because it is the only bit of foreground interest that exists, especially when the tide is in. Kind of the lesson that I'm learning tonight is I need to come back here when the tide is in, probably without a camera as well, just to explore what's here and, you know, realise the potential. I mean, from up here I can see items of seaweed. I'm going to turn the camera around actually, so if I twist the camera up and round, so there's my sea defence, there's the colour over there, but down here on the beach there are items of seaweed. Over the other side I noticed there was quite a large pebble. I kind of need to tune my mind in to look for things like that, as well as this lovely thumping great sea defence. So I'm actually going to, I'm not going to go to my right, I'm going to go, sorry, not going to go to my left, I'm actually going to go back to my right, and just try and orientate you guys sort of over there, and just see if I can find something on the beach that would act as an item of foreground interest and then lead us into that lovely sunset colour. So bear with me whilst I take a quick walk. So I've just gotten a little bit lucky, walked just a little bit further along the beach, and I've found what looks to be some kind of, I think when the tide's really high, there's like a little natural bay, then it drains out and there's a furrow in the sand just here, which is making a triangle right in front of me. So I've still got just a hint of colour up in the sky, and I'm going to try and frame up and use that triangle to try and point the viewer towards the colour that's out there. I didn't see it when I first wandered along here, probably because the tide wasn't high enough. Now it's come in that little bit more, it's revealed this triangle, almost like an arrow, pointing you in the direction of the sea. Also, as the waves recede, and then being left with wet sand, which is then reflecting everything that's going on up in the sky. It's absolutely stunning. I am really, really chuffed that I actually decided not to give up, but to actually come and have another go. I'm just going to line up the horizon, and I'm using the built-in level meter this time. Now I'm having a quick look at the histogram. I'm focused 1/3 into the scene, f8. I've got a little bit of the breakwater just on the edge of the frame. I'm just going to adjust it ever so slightly, because I've got some clumps of seaweed over there. I'm just giving them a little bit of space. I'm going to take a test frame just to see what that looks like. Now what I'd really like, if I can get it, a little bit of foamy stuff down here, and then the receding sand. I don't need any grads. The histogram is more or less bang in the middle. I I'm not exposing to the right simply because I haven't got any deep shadow detail. You could argue that breakwater's deep in shadow, but it's so small in the frame I'm not going to worry about it too much. And I'm getting a shutter speed of about 1.62 seconds, which obviously is going to increase as the light fails, but I still got colour over there, which is pretty cool, bearing in mind it must now be 20 minutes after sunset at least. As you can see, the tide is still on its way in. I've nearly got my feet wet. And I did that one differently. I timed it as the wave came in because it had some foam in front of it, hoping that when it hit here it would actually sort of break into almost like an arrow, and that would help the composition. But as the tide is coming in, I'm going to move around ever so slightly. Right, so I've moved around. You can now see the water channel, it's right here. Still got some colour up in the sky, and I've now definitely got a triangular V in front of me. You can see it right down here in the sand. Even without my glasses on, I can see that you can see it in the video. So I'm just going to recompose. I'm as wide as I can get. In fact, I'm going to go in a bit tighter. I'm going to remove that breakwater completely, and I've just got a triangle of sand. I'm at about, I don't know, 12-20 millimeters, something like that, on this lens. I'm just going to line up the horizon by eye. I'm going to choose a focus point roughly a third into my scene, and again I'm using f8 because the light levels are falling quite quickly now. My shutter speed is increasing all the time, so I'm now 3.5 seconds, and I'm just waiting now for a bit of foam to come my way, and then hopefully over 3.2 seconds I can capture a bit of movement. I've still got the reflection on the wet sand. I might actually go for it as it is, because otherwise I'm just going to lose that reflection completely. Now I've got some foamy stuff coming in. Now the danger is that that foamy stuff will be so subtle because it's moving that it won't feature in the final picture, but where I am right now, if I don't take any gambles, I'm not going to come away with anything, am I? I think I found my spot. I'm well chuffed. Absolutely brilliant. There we go. Just goes to prove, doesn't it, that if you persevere and keep looking, options will appear. As I say often in my camera club talks, keep the mind open, keep yourself responsive to the possibilities, and the pictures will come. Brilliant.